Hi, I'm Austin.
I'm Alex.
You're listening to One Last Breath, an autopsy of awful albums.
Where we discuss controversial, bizarre, divisive, and downright abysmal albums.
And one day we won't have to read that opening.
Yeah, I don't know, we're about like 20 episodes in or so. And...
Well, in today's episode, we're going to be discussing one of the craziest stories in all of musical history. I know you're excited for Fleetwood Mac. Oh wait, no, sorry. Philosophy of the World by the Shaggs. The Shaggs formed in '65 by teenage sisters Dorothy, aka Dot, Betty, and Helen Wiggin in Fremont, whatever, New Hampshire, or somewhere in New Hampshire. Dot wrote the songs and played lead guitar and performed lead vocals. Betty, who was the youngest, played rhythm guitar and did backup vocals, and Helen, the oldest, played the drums. They were formed at the demand of their father, Austin Wiggin Jr. Not me.
Not you.
After his mother read his poem and predicted 3 things. What a fucking, lunatic already.
Yeah, already.
Here are the 3 things that she predicted. He would marry a strawberry blonde woman. He would have 2 sons after she died.
Yeah, I was confused at first when I read that, because I thought it meant after the strawberry blonde woman, aka his wife, died.
Oh, it didn't.
No, it means his grandma, his mother.
His mother died.
Yeah, because later on it mentioned the mom, and after spoiler alert, he passed away at a fairly young age, but it mentioned her after it said he passed away, and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, after their grandmother died. Okay. And the third and most important to today's story, his daughters would form a famous band. The first 2 fucking came true. So he was like, okay, we're gonna fulfill this prophecy.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was lying though.
I wouldn't be surprised if he killed his mother and then kept fucking till he had kids.
Yeah. This is gonna come true. I don't know. He seemed unhinged.
It can be assumed that money and ego had everything to do with this.
Yeah.
Not just something, you wrote, Alex. Everything.
Everything.
Because Austin was a poor mill worker and apparently had no fucking interest in music.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know why the mom would predict that if...
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was known to be a miserable man who was very strict on the girls, not letting them have social lives, friends, or romantic interests. Some reports even say that he was physically abusive, and Helen once said that he was inappropriately intimate with her.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Fucked up. And
fuck Austin Wiggin Jr.
Fuck all Austins. So to bring the vision to life, he took them out of school.
Yeah.
Bought them instruments and arranged them to partake in music and vocal lessons. He chose their band name because of the shag haircut that the girls had. They all had it. It was also massively popular at the time. And you fucking know what a shag is, even if you don't think you do. Think of every emo girl at the beginning of the pandemic.
Think of Shaggy for Scooby-Doo.
True. He forced them to practice frequently, ignoring the fact that none of them showed any interest. They played their first show in '68. Soon after, he arranged for them to play at the Fremont Hall every weekend. Fremont Town Hall every weekend. The shows attracted a crowd of teenage hecklers who apparently would throw things at the sisters on stage.
Yeah, which is also sad. Also, backtrack. I wonder how the fuck that conversation went where he just went to the school and was like, yeah, I'm just withdrawing not all of my children, just 3 of my daughters, even though I have another daughter and 2 sons, out of school to be in a fucking rock band. Isn't that...
Yeah, they're gonna be famous.
Unless he homeschooled them on the side, isn't that illegal?
It was the '60s. Nothing was illegal.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Just ask your father.
Except for being white, not being white or straight or...
That's still illegal.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed.
Yeah, true, but...
We're talking about things that became not illegal, which became illegal later.
Damn. This is my plan to have 3 daughters and make a rock band, so...
Well, unfortunately you have to homeschool them.
Damn.
Or just not tell the government they exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't bring that up to your wife, just do
it. Just do it.
Just do it. Sorry, my mom read my palm when I was younger.
She read my palm.
In March of '69, Austin took the Shaggs to Fleetwood Studios in Revere, Massachusetts,
Massachusetts,
to record their debut album, Philosophy of the World. Everything pointed towards disaster. Sisters not knowing how to play their instruments on time, and their disinterest in the whole ordeal. Despite the album engineer's opinion that they were not ready to record, Austin insisted it be done. Recording was done in a single day. Session musicians were even hired to re-record parts of the album, but they could not follow the erratic timing of the Shaggs. I was like, I don't remember any session musicians. That's why.
Yeah.
Philosophy of the World ended up releasing on June 15th of '69, with Austin paying to have the label Third World press 1,000 copies of the album. It's rumored that one of the producers, Charlie Dreyer, only delivered 100 copies of the album, disappearing with the other 900. Dreyer said that Austin had refused to distribute the rest of the copies, fearing that someone would copy their music. Dreyer just kept the extra records in the studio and gave them to anyone who would ask. The album initially received absolutely no media attention.
Are we surprised?
They continued to perform locally throughout the early 70s, and in 75 he took them to record another album. They had become substantially more proficient due to the countless hours of practice. However, the engineers still noted that they didn't notice their out-of-tune instruments or lack of rhythm. The recordings went unreleased. Shortly after this recording session, Austin passed away due to a heart attack at the age of 47. Fuck yeah.
See ya.
They subsequently disbanded and sold all of their instruments and moved on with their life. Throughout the 70s, copies of the album began to circulate amongst various musicians, developing a cult following. In 1980, Terry Adams and Tom Ardolino of the band NRBQ convinced the Wiggin sisters to reissue the album under their label Rounder Records. They even paid the sisters to allow them to do so.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty fucking... I don't know who NRBQ is.
I have no idea.
Nurbic.
Nurbic. I feel like I've heard the name Terry Adams before.
Yeah, maybe.
So I don't know, but yeah, apparently, I mean, they were hesitant to allow them because they thought they would have to pay, and they were like, "Nah, we're just gonna give you a fucking stack," which is pretty cool.
We're actually gonna pay you.
Yeah, which is cool because they didn't obviously get any fucking royalties from their music until this point.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they finally did, especially all the
I'm
shit they had
glad
to
they
go.
got some fucking money from this shit.
Yeah, for all the shit they had to go through.
Over the years and throughout multiple reissues, it's been described as everything from the worst album ever recorded to unintentional genius. A little-known guy from a little-known band, Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, you've probably never heard
Who
of.
the fuck is that?
He listed Philosophy of the World as his 5th favorite album of all time.
Are they the ones that did Rockstar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Nirvana.
And
okay.
then Frank Zappa was quoted as saying the Shaggs are better than the Beatles.
Which is a very Zappa thing to say.
He definitely just said it for fucking clout. He's Frank fucking Zappa.
Yeah, and plus he notoriously hated like hippies and like any type of like.
He also notoriously hated naming his kids normal names.
It's like Dweezil.
Dweezil and Moon Unit.
Moon Unit, yeah. Those are
Everyone
pretty sick
forgets
names,
about Moon Unit.
Yeah, Moon Unit.
Everyone's like, Dweezil's such a dumb name. We're forgetting about the sister.
I mean, it's better than fucking all these names like Jackson, Braxton, Paxton.
Yeah, I'd rather have a Moon Unit.
Or Ashley. All that shit. All the fucking Realtree mother names.
So in '82, Adams and Ardolino from earlier released a compilation, Shaggs' Own Thing, using recordings made between '69 and '75. In the 90s, as interest in outsider music grew, the Shaggs were seen as pioneers of the genre. RCA Victor reissued Philosophy of the World in 1999. In November of the same year, Dot and Betty performed at NRBQ's 30th anniversary celebration with the drummer from the band, Tommy Ardolino. You call him Tom and Tommy in the same paragraph. Unless those are different people.
I don't know, I didn't even notice that.
Okay.
It said Tommy on the articles I read.
Weird. But he was filling in for Helen, who is disabled and struggling with severe depression. Dot recalled that this was the first time she realized the following the band had accumulated over the years.
I bet that was fucking surreal. You go there and people are singing these songs that you were fucking embarrassed of and ashamed. Oh, that's pretty fucking crazy.
In 2001, the label Animal World released a tribute album titled Better Than the Beatles, with various artists covering the Shaggs songs.
Which I was going to list the artists, but I was like, I'm not even going to, because I've never heard of any of them, so.
I'm surprised Daniel Johnston wasn't on it.
Yeah, well, I think he passed away pretty young.
Did he? I thought he made it to 01 at least. I never got into Daniel Johnston.
Maybe? I mean, he might have.
I'm majorly into Daniel Johnston.
Really?
It's not something I've ever got into.
Yeah, listening to this album makes me kind of want to get into outsider music, though.
Nope.
I mean, I know Wesley Willis, fucking Rock and Roll McDonald's and fucking Moose's Ass or whatever that one song is called. But yeah, it was basically a bunch of like no wave artists, if you know what no wave is, and like fucking indie, like just a bunch of obscure artists I've never heard of, but which makes sense for this album.
Yeah,
I want to listen to it at some point. It would be interesting.
Sadly, in 2006, Helen passed away. Dot and Betty have continued to do sporadic performances, with the last one being in 2017. Musician Jerry Krakow even discovered
Jesse.
What did I say?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Jesse Krakow had even discovered that Dot had unrecorded Shag songs, leading him to assemble the Dot Wiggin Band and re-record these songs with Dot. The result was Ready Set Go, released on October 29th, 2013 by label Alternative Tentacles.
Which I listened to the album and it was interesting.
Was it like played well?
Yeah, I mean it's still obviously like leagues above the playing on philosophy of the world, but it still had that like childlike weird feeling that philosophy of the world has, just not as too much of an extreme. And then the fucking it was kind of weird hearing whoever Jesse Krauko dude is had vocals on some songs. That was kind of weird to hear.
Okay.
But it felt more like it would have been in line with like the Monkees type stuff, or maybe like the Hollies, like that kind of Beatles-ish type stuff.
I would like to hear like a version of Philosophy of the World done by like competent musicians.
I mean, maybe the
maybe
tribute album. I need to listen to it. I didn't see if it's on Spotify.
Because I would like to see what the actual vision for these songs was.
Yeah.
So there's one that I even put that in my notes. Like I would like to see the vision of this song specifically. But in 2015, the band even embarked on a tour in support of Neutral Milk Hotel.
Pretty fucking crazy.
I guess Neutral Milk Hotel is outsider music.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like the same. Like they're really weird. Yeah. They kind of have the we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like outsider music's kind of hard to describe, I guess.
It's hard to describe Neutral Milk Hotel.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see them getting influence from the Shaggs, but I don't know. I feel like they might be a little too proficient at their instruments to be, or proficient in the act of making music and writing music, I guess, as opposed to like.
Well, they were proficient in the act of writing and making the one album.
Did they only do that one album?
No, they This is not a fucking podcast about Neutral Milk Hotel, but they had an album before it.
Okay.
And they recently, as of like a year or less ago, released a new album.
Really? Oh, so they only have 3 albums?
They have 3 albums.
Okay.
I personally think their first album is better than Aeroplane Over the Sea.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I've only ever heard Aeroplane on the Sea, and it's been a long time. Like, I don't really remember anything from it besides the fucking title track.
Here, real quick, side podcast about Aeroplane Over the Sea. So I can describe every song in one word. Well, two phrases.
2 phrases.
Phrase 1, I love you, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, I love you. Yes, I do.
Oh, that's the phrases?
No, that's the first phrase.
Oh wait, I mean, is the second one something about being horny for Anne Frank?
And the second one is I am horny for Anne Frank. Yeah, those are the 2.
I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about that.
that's a 2 way to describe Neutral Milk Hotel.
Well, that's certainly a combination.
Okay, that is finishing off the side podcast about Aeroplane Over the Sea. So Dot stated that she had not been interested in recording at all. She just wanted to release the music and reap the royalties.
I mean, fucking get
the bag. Good for her.
Get the fucking bag, Dot.
Who rules the world? Not her.
Not her, but she got the fucking bag.
She got the bag. The Shaggs left an impact on music that can be easily overlooked, but is very important. They pretty much, if unintentionally, definitely unintentionally, planted the seeds of outsider music. Acts such as Daniel Johnston and Wesley Wills would not be the same, if even a thing, if not for the Shaggs. A key element of outsider music is being pure and unadulterated, so it can be argued the Shaggs are even outsider music themselves, as they were forced by their father to create music.
Yeah, exactly. See, I feel like outsider music's kind of a conundrum in a way, because I feel like there's a bunch of things that...
Is folk punk outsider music?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's... Like, is lo-fi outsider music?
Is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton outsider music?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But I just feel like
I
feel like there's just a few things, like, genre... I mean, it's the same with any genres, like, there's just a lot of overlapping with certain stuff, so it's kind of hard to define it. I mean, just like with fucking metal or something, it's like, is this a blackened death metal band? No, it's a death and black metal band. Like, I don't know, it's just too intricate, and it's like, doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
The more concise you get with genres, the less it matters.
Yeah, like fucking Finn McKenty of the Punk Rock NBA, he always makes fun of it. He's like, bro, this isn't a technical brutal death metal, it's brutal technical death metal.
Yeah, like, you can just say, oh, this is hardcore, and I'll be like, okay, I don't fucking care if it's emotional hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care if it's metallic hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. And, like, if I want to listen to hardcore, they'll all work.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to me in a way. It's just some people take it overboard.
It's
Like-
cool if someone's like, "Oh, what kind of band is that?" Then yeah, you could be like, "Well, here's specifically what
Yeah,
I would
or
consider them."
or if someone's like, I want to get into a genre, and you can be stuff like that. It's like, well, would you like your hardcore with more of a metal feel or more of a punk feel, or you know?
Yeah, like it's a good way to get people into genres. But once you're into a fucking genre, do not be a fucking genre snob.
Yeah,
We were guilty of this years ago.
yeah, we were.
We were fucking awful.
We were also kind of self-aware though.
Yeah, we knew we were awful.
We would make those posts like fucking.
It's not black and jazz. It's not black and jazz. It's actually porno grind, hip hop infused R&B.
Yeah, Sum 41 is my favorite straight edge band.
Yeah, like, but we were bad about it.
Yeah, but
don't be that person. Like, grow up.
yeah, I mean it's excusable when you were our age and
Yeah, we were high schoolers.
yeah, people that are high schoolers and middle schoolers, it's excusable. But fucking 30-year-old people that are like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. They're not this genre. They're this genre. It's like,
You're
does it
not
matter?
a real metalhead if you
Yeah.
don't listen to black and porno grind.
Yeah, it's like, does it fucking matter, dude? Like, I literally listen to fucking Attack and fucking Mayhem, Cannibal Corpse, Metallica.
And they're the same genre.
Yeah, same thing. It's like, it doesn't
It's
fucking
all
matter.
metal.
It's all metal.
Don't call yourself an outsider musician unless you like The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, is the other takeaway. Yeah.
But yeah, either way, all that to say, like, outsider music, I feel, I mean, obviously don't know much about it, but I feel like it's pretty hard to define. But I think I would say the Shaggs are, even if they don't fit all the criteria.
So at the very least, their music set some groundwork for outsider music, with it coming from inexperienced musicians and containing super childlike qualities present in other outsider music.
Mm-hmm.
The Shaggs were also an inspiration of the twee pop subgenre, and their contributions of music can even be found in the underground rock scene of the 90s bands such as Sonic Youth.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's fucking weird.
Yeah, because Sonic Youth is very, very weird. I feel like a bunch of like that 90s alternative stuff, like stuff that was like one level below like the popular grunge acts, were probably got a lot of inspiration from the Shaggs. And then twee pop I had never heard of before, but I looked a little bit into. It seems like Cub and Beat Happening are the two most popular bands of that subgenre.
Those are band names.
Yeah, but it was really only a thing in the, I think like the mid 90s, late 90s ish was like when it
In
was
Britain.
at its peak. No, I don't think
Really?
they were British. No.
Oh, that sounds like a British thing. Twee?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh wait, British of Columbia, so they were Cubs Canadian, I guess. That's Canada, right?
Yeah, British of
Okay,
Columbia.
yeah, British of Columbia.
British Columbia. There's no of there.
Oh, same thing. Okay, Olympia, Washington is where Beat Happening is from.
Okay.
So I guess it wasn't really
Weird.
to a certain region, but either way, I listened to some of that stuff, and you can definitely tell the Shaggs were a huge influence on it. Like, it's more proficient. You can tell it's done intentionally. It's sounding like having the childlike, weird stuff. But
Which I forget what twee means, but it had.
I don't fucking know.
I
I mean, I assumed it was something like tween, but either way, interesting
It's
stuff.
a British term. I know that.
Okay,
Um,
a tween bit
Uh,
interesting.
Drew, real quick apology. My notes got kind of fucked, so I'm reading them off a picture of my computer screen. So if I'm like stuttering a little bit,
This is a true outsider note reading for
Yeah,
the podcast.
this podcast is actually an outsider music project, and you guys have been fucking fooled. You thought we were gonna shit on this album? No, it's our biggest inspiration.
It's our biggest inspiration.
We are starting outsider podcasting.
Yeah, we're just gonna make a new genre, outsider podcasting.
It's where we get children to talk about the outsiders by S.E. Hinton.
Oh God. Well, let's call up your little sisters.
They're the perfect age.
Yeah.
They're the right age to read The Outsiders. I don't remember anything about that book.
I don't
honestly.
remember anything.
I remember really liking it as a kid,
It's outside.
and then not fucking caring. So first thoughts on the album.
This is an album that I have known about for a pretty long while, and I think I started, or I at least listened to the title track Philosophy of the World after learning about it, or at some point, and obviously I was like, what in the actual fuck? I mean, I knew it was going to be weird, but it just was kind of just, I don't know, like I was like, do I really want to listen to this even though it's piquing my interest? So I'm glad that we're doing this podcast for shit like this because it's making me listen to
Yeah, it's
it.
making me listen because I had definitely heard the name the Shaggs, but I didn't know anything about it. I never listened to it.
I mean, it's a very popular.
I was never gonna listen to this.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I've been interested in it for a while, so it was nice to finally actually listen to it. And I gotta say, I don't really know what to rate this album when we're all said and done with going over the track listing.
Nope.
But I liked it. I mean, I would listen to it again.
I would not.
You wouldn't?
I think that with my various mental illnesses, this is a bad thing for me to listen to.
It's a bad.
I was losing my fucking mind.
Really?
Honestly, listening to this, I was like, I was losing my shit. Like, not as bad as Alien Raps. I didn't. You guys remember me like going fucking full, fucking stringboard.
Yeah.
With Alien Rap, but like I was losing my mind a little bit. It's really hard to stomach. It's so uncanny.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nothing I would listen to fucking at home, like by myself, fucking windows shut, room dark. Like
I was ashamed finishing because I had to finish my notes today because like work has been like I recently changed jobs, so work's been weird. And like on the way home, I was like, I said to my roommate who works with me, like, hey, can you drive? I have to finish getting notes, and I'm so fucking sorry.
Yeah, it's a very. I mean, it is a difficult thing to listen to. It's just It's childish, but also just seems, I guess, adulterated, I guess is the right word, because it's like when you know the backstory, it's like you know they didn't want to do this, you know that their father was
a piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I would put money on that he was at least physically abusive. I would not put it.
Listening to some of the lyrics of these songs, yes.
Yeah, like it just makes it a very difficult listen, but one that. I mean, I would, like I said, I would listen to it again. Like I don't know. It's just very weird. It's just very uncanny, very uncomfortable at times. Like most of it seems like a fucking alien just learned English and is.
This is the real alien rap.
Yeah, like it's just so weird. Like her Dot's voice is just so monotone, but not at the same time.
Yeah.
Like just the way her voice wavers, because obviously she's not a fucking singer. Like she's not none of them are musicians. Like they didn't want to do this, so it's just very uncanny to listen to. But
yeah,
I mean, I gotta say overall, I'm definitely glad that I listened to it and I enjoy it. I think I'm part of that camp that thinks it's unintentional genius. Okay. I gotta say.
I'm in the other camp.
You're in the other camp?
I don't like it.
Interesting.
But I also have no idea how to rate it.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking insane. So we're just going to do a track by track, and I'm going to throw out a number at the end.
Okay. Just throw out a number.
I'm just going to throw out a number.
Alright.
So we'll start with the title track, Philosophy of the World. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the perfect album opener. I'll give them that.
I think so, yeah.
Because it gives you everything you're going to hear the rest of the album.
Yeah, like the out-of-tune guitars, the guitars and drums not being synced up whatsoever, the eerie, robotic-esque vocals, simplistic lyrics, like all the trademarks of the album are right out the gate.
After listening to the song, you can figure out the main three tenets of this album, which is subpar musicianship, dawdling lyrics that mean nothing, and of course, a sense of unease.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the lyric, like, I don't know, the lyrics here and there, I'll get to it in later songs. Some of them I think are actually good, I would say. This one, not so much, but it's still, I don't know, it makes sense. Like, you can tell that a child wrote this, with stuff being like, you know, oh, the rich people want what the poor people's got, and the poor people want what the rich people's got. Then they do that same line with skinny and fat people, short people, tall people, little kids, big kids.
This is a children's song?
But I mean, I think the chorus, which is just one line, is a pretty good assessment. You can never please anybody in this world.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a pretty good concept.
Man, it's wild what you come up with when your dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that could come from them not being able to please their dad.
Yeah, like the hardest part of this album is the fact that you have to look at every song through the lens of their father was a piece of shit who was forcing them to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And that makes it really hard to listen to. Like if I didn't know the story, I'd been like, okay, this is a bad album.
Yeah, like maybe even laugh at it, honestly, because I mean,
I don't know if I could laugh at it. It made me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it's here and there. There's some parts where if you didn't know the story, I could see somebody hearing this and laughing at it.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, there are other parts where you're like, oof, this is kind of
Like,
making me feel weird.
If it wasn't for the story, I would be building a horror game right now that used this as a soundtrack.
Honestly, yeah, it would work perfectly
like
for that.
Like Freddy Fazbear singing this.
Oh God, not Freddy Fazballs.
It would make that game actually scary.
Yeah, but yeah, a good opening track, I think, sets the stage for everything. Then we go into That Little Sports Car, which I think is even weirder than the first track. The guitar is very hypnotic and eerie in this one, even more so than Philosophy of the World.
The opening riff is actually played in tune, and is actually played well.
Yeah.
You can tell that they actually did learn something from their lessons.
Yeah. And the guitar line after each verse, I mean, how the fuck am I going to replicate exactly what it sounds like? But it's kind of like dun 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 dun, and the cymbal, I guess it's the ride cymbal. It's like ting 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 the whole time. That reminds me of math rock.
Yeah,
like I've heard fucking bands like hella Don Caballero.
Even the Fall of Troy.
Yeah, like bands like that. I've heard fucking do shit similar to that.
It kind of reminds me of the intro to I think it's Laces Up Dan. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. That fucking, as much as I love that album, it's probably like in my top 10 favorite albums ever. I fucking can't remember half the track names. Like I remember like every moment from that album, but I'm like, wait, what's the name of that track?
Oh yeah, I mean, the track names are fucking.
When you have names like fucking Wacko Jacko steals the elephant, whatever the fuck.
Wacko Jacko steals the elephant man's bones.
Yeah, that's it. But either way, that's.
God, I wish that album was less critically loved so we could cover it.
Oh, I fucking love that album.
If you guys want us to start a Patreon, message me personally on Facebook. I know you're friends with me on Facebook. You wouldn't be listening otherwise.
Yeah, we will cover actually good albums.
We will start a Patreon and cover actually good albums. It will be rare. It'll be like once a month.
Yeah, or we could also talk about different genres or different.
We could do like subgenre starter packs.
Yeah, just like different music stuff that isn't solely based on bad music.
Yeah, I would. Hey, I would really enjoy that. I would fucking. I'll give you a kiss on the mouth.
Yeah, you know, we got to do bad music to stand out amongst the crowd and.
But I want to talk about stuff that I like.
Yeah, make our own little niche. But yeah, it would be very cool to talk about stuff we like as well. But that's not the point of One Last Breath, because we know all that shit needs one last breath. Or it never needed it. It's been breathing the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, that one part, there's a few other parts on this album that do that for me. Like, I hear it and I'm like, I could totally see, like, if just the musicianship was cranked up a bit, like, that's math rock.
This is like almost proto math rock.
I mean, honestly, it is.
It's really fucking wild.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else besides us feels that way, but the whole time I was like, I can't tell you if any math rock bands, like, bands that began that whole scene listened to this and got inspiration from it. I mean, with fucking Frank Zappa loving this, I wouldn't be surprised, because Frank Zappa's a huge...
Yeah, like, if nothing else, their inspiration is Frank Zappa, who was inspired by this album.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a pathway to lead to it, but yeah, I really like that part.
And I think we're going to have some similar feelings about an album that we also have slated for a few weeks from now.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
So I think we're going to be talking a lot about math rock.
Yeah, which... let's fucking do it.
Let's fucking go.
Math rock is dope.
We're starting this is actually a math rock cast now. My favorite math rock band is the Beatles.
Oh yeah, Beach Boys for me.
Yeah, the Beach Boys. Hate the Beach Boys.
Allman Brothers, my favorite math rock band.
You joke, but almost.
Yeah, close enough. But yeah, I mean, there's a few other ones that I'll get to, parts on this album that like are really cool, that are like that, and that's stuff that makes me want to really listen to this album, because I just think it's really cool to hear that. Like, unintentional that they did it, but
Yeah,
very
they
fucking
had no idea
cool.
what they were doing.
Yeah, but I'm like, isn't that really some shit? Fucking almost 50 years out after this album came out, you have people like us that are like, oh fuck, that sounds like Math Rock. Fall of Troy, is that you?
Yeah,
Like, that's
it's
just
like,
insane.
it's like the same shit we saw doing Attila where we were like,
Yeah.
when I was like, oh yeah, this is Slam.
Yeah. Yeah, Billy Joel, thank you for Slam.
So after that song, we get to Who Are Parents?
Oh fuck, I accidentally scrolled by that. I was like, wait.
And you know what?
Who are parents?
First of all, parents just don't understand. Which is the opposite of what the song is trying to say. The dad wrote this fucking song.
I think so.
You cannot convince me that the dad did not write
the
this
dad
fucking
was a
song.
sleeper agent.
The dad was a sleeper agent.
He was a ghostwriter. But
Oh, and now he's just a fucking ghost.
yeah.
Good riddance.
But yeah, this is one of the songs on the album that is very unnerving, and this is probably the most unnerving.
It's the darkest song on the album in the context of the story.
Yeah, because the lyrics are shit like here, let me actually go to it.
It's like children think that parents are strict just because they're mean.
Yeah, like some kids do as they please. They don't know what life really means. They don't listen to the ones who really care, what the ones who really care have to say. They just go and do things their own way. Who are parents? Parents are the ones who really care. And then on and on about shit like that.
It's really hard to listen to.
Yeah, because it's like their fucking dad didn't care. He was cruel. It's like literally he's the opposite of everything they're saying parents are.
I'm really transparent. I listened to the album like 2 times.
You did?
I got all my notes in 2 times. It's not a lot of notes.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot for me to say really,
Mm-hmm.
because all the songs kind of run together when you're like disassociating to
Yeah.
it. It was really hard for me to actively listen to this. And I think a big part of songs like this that are like so dark that I'm just like, I literally can't listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think I listened to the album in one sitting ever.
Really?
I think I had to listen to like piece by piece, like 4 or 5 songs at a time.
Yeah, I'll have to go and listen to it while not working, because I feel like that could be another thing for me, being able to stomach it more.
Yeah, because you have something else to do, because I can't listen at work. I was just sitting there staring at my notepad.
Yeah.
With who are parents? Parents are the ones that really understand. I'm just like, holy fuck.
And the way fucking, not Helen, not Dot, who's Betty? Betty. Yeah, Betty does the background vocals. The way, because it's like, who are parents? And then Betty's like, parents. Like, it's just very fucking in your...
Her background vocals are some of the most unsettling shit on this album.
Because she'll come in most of the time when she does background vocals, like, while Dot is still finishing her line, so it's just like very jarring.
She's
it's just like,
who are parents?
Yeah, and then her voice is deeper and more monotone than Dot's.
And louder.
Yeah, and louder, so it's just very like, whoa. With all the fucking context of the album and these lyrics and that, like fucking, and then the instruments going off the fucking wall. Yeah.
But luckily after this song we get to something a little more stomachable.
Yeah, My Pal Foot
My Pal Foot.
Which is what I've grown to know as the Shaggs like kind of theme song, anthem. Like it's their, I guess, fan favorite song.
I as far as the Shaggs go, this is a good song.
Mm-hmm. I like this one.
What are my notes? So this one is just about their pal Foot,
Yeah.
which
is a cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've ruined my entire illusion.
Okay, what was your illusion?
That he was an anthropomorphized foot cryptid.
Okay. I don't know, from going into the lyrics for it, which is basically just like
I went to a house to find my pal Foot,
yeah,
and the people answered the door and said Foot moved away.
Yeah, like I've looked here, I've looked there, I've looked everywhere. Why can't I find you? Where can you be? Come home to me. Like, I kind of got in the mindset of this is probably about an imaginary friend. For some reason, like I was.
But it's about a cat.
Yeah, I was just imagining like maybe this is a imaginary friend like the sisters had collectively.
How old were they when they started writing this album?
They were various ages, but I think they were all like.
Early teens?
In the teenage range, like from maybe 13 to, I don't know.
Because they look like teenagers,
yeah,
but they sound and their writing feels like 8-year-old. But they're probably fucking emotionally stunted because of their fucking dad.
Well, which goes into imaginary friends. I mean, obviously everyone knows imaginary friends are something that comes, or I mean not all the time, but can come out of trauma.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if they shared an imaginary friend and wrote a song about it, but I mean...
And he's an anthropomorphized foot cryptid.
Yeah, and we were looking too hard into it. It's just about their cat that I guess actually did run away. But who the fuck names their cat Foot Foot? But either way, yeah, I like this one. And again, like how you were saying, this would be perfect background music for Five Nights at Freddy's or something. Like, if the fucking story of this album wasn't so tragic, I would want somebody to make like a cryptid called Foot Foot and fucking like.
And when he's walking, you just hear this song, but specifically the part where is it Betty that does the background vocals, where Betty goes Foot Foot.
Yeah, yeah, just like how she's like parents. Foot Foot.
Foot Foot.
Foot Foot.
Foot Foot travels through time.
But yeah,
I'm gonna make a putt putt mod with Foot Foot.
Do it. But yeah, yeah. If there wasn't such a fucking tragic story, then that would be some cool shit. If like fucking A24 or something like that made a movie called Foot Foot, My Pal Foot Foot, and just had a. I was imagining the imaginary friend looking like a Bigfoot Sasquatch type.
Okay, that also makes sense. I just like my anthropomorphized.
I mean, that could work too.
After that, we get to a song that is basically the same song, My
Yeah.
Companion.
I
literally, the first time I listened to it, I zoned out through the silence at the end of My Pal Foot Foot, and I thought it was just a really long song. I was like, damn, how long are they going to talk about My Pal Foot Foot?
Yeah, oh wait, backtrack to My Pal Foot Foot. I meant to say, it had a mini drum solo at the beginning, which I thought was very interesting.
Oh, the one that's like dun 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 dun, gung 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 gung.
Yeah, yeah, drum solo, quote unquote. But honestly,
which is also in My Companion.
Yeah, if Helen was a little more technically proficient, I feel like that could be an avant-garde jazz drum part, like
or math rock.
Yeah, I mean,
it all comes back to math rock.
Yeah, I thought that part was cool too. But either way, going back into what we're moving on to now, My Companion.
Yeah, like I said, it was hard. I didn't realize this was a different song at first.
Yeah.
Because it has the same drum solo like at the end, like exactly the same.
Yeah, and I feel like the subject matter is sort of similar.
So this is about an anthropomorphized radio cryptid.
Radio cryptid? Radio cryptid? What do you mean?
Let's talk about a radio.
Is it?
Yeah. She says at the very end, she's like, my companion is my radio.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did not catch that.
I was like, what the fuck is she talking about?
I heard some shit about a horse, so I thought it was about a horse.
Oh, well, she takes her radio when she's riding her horse.
Makes sense.
She takes her radio when she goes to a show.
Okay.
This woman loves music. She just hates making it.
Yeah.
Or maybe she really likes podcasts.
Yeah, 1960s podcast.
Oh, sorry. Radio dramas.
Yeah, radio dramas. But yeah, it kind of does run together a little bit. But there is a instrumental break about in the halfway point of the song where the guitar is strumming simple chords like it does pretty much the whole album. And the drums do like a simple kick snare pattern, like a doom, 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 with like the cymbal being hit constantly through it. Again, like I guess like the bell of the ride cymbal. And that part all put together also feels very math rock-esque, like even more so than the one I talked about previously in that little sports car. Like I feel like I've literally heard a beat like that before in like a math rock song.
Yeah.
Or even like Black Flag. Like it feels like something Black Flag would have done in like their My War, Family Man era, where they were kind of doing really weird avant-garde shit mixed in with punk and like sludge metal and all that shit they were doing. Like I feel like I've heard shit like that before in those things, so that was really cool too. And it also kind of felt a little more intentional. I mean, maybe because it actually was played a little on time, which it could have been unintentional that they accidentally played on time for once, but
I think that's probably what it is.
I don't know, that whole part was really cool. I was like, oh, this is actually not disjointed. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, after that we get to I'm So Happy When You're Near, which is an attempt at a love song.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a great one.
Yeah, it's probably one of the least interesting and noteworthy tracks on the album, in my opinion.
There is a solo around the minute mark.
Is there?
It's not great.
I don't remember that.
It's not good. I would say it's a bad solo, but she solos.
Shit, I'll have to go back. I did not catch that. I just really noted that the drums are, I think, the fastest on the song than they are in the whole album, but the guitars don't match the speed, so it makes it...
Yeah, the guitars are kind of the same speed the whole way through.
Yeah, but then the drums specifically on this one feel a little faster, like they're trying to go more for a garage rock feel.
She's going double time. She's still in time.
Double time. I mean, I will say, fucking Helen, the drummer, she is probably the most musically talented.
I would argue So okay, I know that the drums are a hard instrument.
Mhm.
We've both played drums before.
Yeah,
We both know
very
it's hard.
badly.
But also, I feel like the drums are the easiest instrument to kind of pretend you know how to play.
I definitely agree. Yeah, because
Because I learned that one Fall Out Boy song in like an hour.
yeah, what sugar we're going down.
Yeah, like I could play
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree with you for sure. It's like, I mean, you might not obviously be fucking. I mean, there's a lot of intricacies like
Yeah, as opposed to
hitting ghost notes and shit like that. You're not gonna
Yeah.
do, but just bullshitting it. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's easier to fucking listen to the drums in a song and replicate it than hear
Yeah.
the fucking guitar.
because it's not a toned instrument. Like
yeah, it's like you fucking hear.
okay, drummers do not get mad at me. I know technically the drum is a toned instrument. I know you tune your drums to C a lot of the fucking time. I don't care. You don't have strings. You're not playing notes. On to the next song.
I was gonna say something, but I was taking a sip of water. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I've said that before too in the past. I mean, I've done it before. Just hear a fucking. I mean, shit. I can sort of play the intro to "Raining Blood" by Slayer, where it's just a fucking double
Dun,
kick.
dun, dun.
It's just like, well, not, I mean that, but the fucking actual part where it's like doom 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 doom. It's just fucking hi-hat, snare, and then fucking double bass.
Yeah, like
I mean, obviously, I'm not fucking going crazy on the double
yeah, like
bass.
you're not getting the timing perfect, but you can play an amalgamation of it.
Yeah, it's like I can
as
do it.
opposed to someone who's never played guitar cannot play an amalgamation of Raining Blood.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck. It's like you have so many frets. Like where the fuck do you even go? So
Yeah. So on to the next one is "Things I Wonder," which is another bad song.
I kind of felt the lyrics in this song.
I think the lyrics are very mundane. It's just all about shit that kids wonder about, like birds and planes
I mean, yeah.
and trains
I mean, yeah. It starts out in automobiles.
and bears and cats and lions and tigers.
Oh my. No, but yeah, I mean, it does start out with that, like, I wonder about the stars, the birds, but then it goes to, like, I wonder about your love, but most of all, I wonder why you make me cry, which, fuck.
It's another dad
That's
song.
probably, yeah, exactly.
It's another dad song.
I felt that shit, I was
but
like,
I
fuck.
think it starts off so poorly that I didn't care when it got to the dad part.
Mm. And it's like, I wonder why our minds drift astray, I wonder why life goes on this way, I wonder why we have to part, we both know it'll break our heart. Shit like that, I kind of felt. I was like, I mean, obviously a kid wrote this, and it's like simple questions that a kid would ask, but then you have shit like that, and it's like, even without the context of the whole dad situation, like, I kind of feel those lyrics, I was like, fuck. Kind of some deep shit. Pretty existential, but
Yeah, it's a
either way.
little existential.
Existential, yeah.
Existential.
Existential, yeah, existential. That's what I'm saying.
And then we get to "Sweet Thing," which is another dad song.
Yeah, and this one is probably the most disjointed vocal performance on the album. It has a lot of attempted harmonies that are just on top of each other in the most whack fucking ways, like just off time with each other, not matching the same key. Like fucking one of them will be singing a lot of, or Helen or Dot will be singing a lot of words like very fucking fast for whatever reason in the song.
Yeah.
Like a lot, it's a very short song and a lot of it's just spit out very fast. And then you have fucking Helen in the back, or
Betty.
fuck Betty. It's so hard to remember which one is which except for Dot. But yeah, you have Betty just doing her ad libs here and there, and it's a very weird disjointed feel.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just about an abusive relationship. It's hard to listen to.
Yeah, it is.
And then we get to it's Halloween.
Fuck
For
the Monster
some
Mash.
fucking reason, it's a Halloween song.
Fuck the Monster
Fuck
Mash.
the Monster Mash. We're listening to it Halloween. I will say that this is scarier than the Monster Mash.
Scary.
Because of the part where Betty goes, "Well, even Dracula will be there," in the most threatening tone I've heard from a child.
Yeah, and then all the instruments drop out at that part. She's like, even Dracula will be there.
I'm like, I fucking hope he's not.
And then it's just kind of like like the drums going, and then it goes back into the instruments.
But that's all I have to say about the fucking song is that.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
It's just a fucking Halloween song. Why Do I Feel is a song about having feelings.
We all have them.
But more of, why do I have feelings?
We all wonder that.
Why does my dad fucking suck?
Yeah.
It feels like the dad was an influence for this one.
For sure. I really like the intro to the song though, talking musical wise, it is one of the more synchronized parts on the album. And then they also bring back that same intro to close out the song, which I think was a pretty good choice.
I think like this is a pretty well written song
Mm-hmm.
in the context of the album. Obviously, it's not a well written song.
Yeah.
In the context of the album, like this is the most well written song, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
At least the most well performed.
Okay.
The other ones might have been. The other ones could have been fucking masterpieces.
Masterpieces.
I never know. They're not
The
performed.
world will never know.
Then we get to What Should I Do?
Which I never ended up getting notes for this one. This one was
I
kind
got
of
notes for this today, mostly based on the original thought I had when listening to the song, which
Okay.
is that it's a fucking cry for help.
yeah.
It could also be a fucking breakup song, but like I doubt it. But the line "He never gives me any joy" makes my fucking skin crawl.
Oh yeah. I do. Okay, yeah, I remember it now. It was hard for me for some reason. This one out of all of them was hard for me to like remember it, like going back. So it was like hard for me to get notes because every time it came around, I just kind of
You were just like, I've never heard this song before.
yeah. So it was hard for me to think of anything unique to say about it that I haven't said for any of the other stuff. But yeah, he's a sad boy. He's a bad boy. He never gives me any joy. Tell me what should I do? Yeah, it's like obviously since their dad didn't let them have friends or fucking romantic.
Well, they have Foot.
Yeah, but so I mean I would assume this isn't about Foot.
I hope Foot's not a bad boy.
But then it also goes to he never wins a race. So I'm like, if they had a horse, maybe it's about the fucking
I think
horse.
it's a fucking horse.
We can
I
only
think,
hope so.
I think it's a cry for help.
Yeah, it honestly seems like it. But yeah, it is. It's another one just like Who Are Parents, where you're just kind of like, fuck. This is very, very unsettling to listen to.
And then we get to the final track on the album.
Close it out.
I know you guys are excited for us to stop talking about this and give it a number. And it's... I didn't get the title of it.
We Have
in
a
my
Savior.
picture. We Have a Savior.
So we close out with
A
with
God song.
with the only Christian or only religious song on the album, which is
This is
odd
a
choice.
weak closer.
Yeah, I don't
The
really.
song it doesn't hit me one way or the other. It kind of barely exists.
Yeah, it's probably the most straightforward and least confusing song on the album, I guess. Like, there's
Yeah.
not a lot, so in turn, doesn't really make it stick out.
Yeah,
Like,
it just fades into the background. It's
Wait.
not. It's a terrible. They should have ended on My Pal Foot.
Yeah, I think it was good to get that one in earlier since it's a banger.
I think that's why I should have been the closer.
Yeah.
Give you a reason to stay through side B. Side B is depressing.
Yeah, I mean it's it's pretty depressing here and there, but yeah, We Have a Savior is kind of, I mean, I guess it is probably the most what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of another word besides straightforward. Like it's not amazingly written, but it's the most standard song on the album. Yeah.
It
Like-
is a very standard song.
Like I think if I heard this on, like if I was a kid in the '60s and I heard this on a fucking Christian radio station, I don't think I would bat an eye and think that anything weird is going on. But in turn, that makes it probably one of the least interesting songs. So
So favorite songs on the album is really none of them.
you can't even give three, not two.
My Pal Foot, My Pal Foot, and My Pal Foot.
I have to disagree. My Pal Foot.
Fuck yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you
one.
forgot that one.
But yeah, I think the only like quote unquote good song on the album is My Pal Foot. And only because of my headcanon of the weird foot creature.
Yeah. I say.
I have come up with a way to describe the weird foot creature.
Okay.
Do you remember that episode Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I guess not, because I
Where-
assume from you saying that I'm supposed to know what you're talking about.
Okay, so Eustace gets a foot fungus. And it takes him over, and the toes are like, well, the fat lady gets it, see?
Maybe? I don't. Dude, it's been forever since I watched that fucking show.
I'm pulling up a picture for you.
Okay, but yeah, my favorite, as I pull up the fucking Rate Your Music score because I forgot to get it down. Oh yes, I do remember that. Fucking
That's
purple
Foot. That's Foot.
fucking purple infected foot. That's Foot.
The fat lady gets it, see?
But I guess my favorite songs would be My Pal Foot, Philosophy of the World, and
Obviously My Companion.
that's up there.
Because it's just My Pal Foot redux.
That one's up there, and I guess maybe Things I Wonder. But all in all, I mean, I really, even the songs that make me very uncomfortable and are very uncanny, I can't say I dislike. I don't know. It's just something, I guess. I don't know. I guess I see where Frank Zappa and Kurt Cobain and others are coming from. Like, something about it, like, yes, it is unnerving, but I kind of like it. I guess just because I see certain precursors to shit like math rock and all that, and
Okay.
just because it's weird place in music history I appreciate, and just the fact that it became such a cult classic, and those people from NRBQ were like, fuck it, we'll pay you, like, we want to get this shit out there.
Yeah.
And it became like a fucking cult thing. Like, I don't know, I like shit like that. But I guess all in all, this is kind of, well, it isn't the Room equivalent of movies. I guess the Room is or the Room equivalent of music. It's vice versa. The
Yeah.
Room is the
The
movie equivalent of this.
Shaggs.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I feel like it's so bad that it's good to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I enjoy it.
What are our composite scores?
Oh wait, we forgot to get least favorite songs, which I guess for you is kind of a moot point. But
It's kind of all of them.
yeah. But I guess for me, it would probably be. I'm so happy that you're. Yeah, I'm so happy that you're near. What should I do? And we have a savior, I guess.
That's fair. Yeah, those are definitely the worst tracks on the album.
Those are just the three most standard and boring to
Yeah.
me. So, rate your music. Let me pull it up real quick because I'm a dummy and forgot to get it down. I know it was a 2 point something. I do remember that from looking.
2 point something out of is that not a 5 rating?
Yeah, rate your music's out of
That's
5.
like a 5.
It is a 2.66 from 5,851 ratings.
Yeah, that's like a 5.
Yeah. And then fucking critical reception, which,
There's very little.
yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount. All of them from, like, various reissues. Like, a few of them are from when they reissued it in 2016. Rolling Stone reviewed it when it was reissued in 1980 initially, when it was first reissued. I didn't get any of it down because really most of them were talking about, like, it was just info dumps like we were doing of the band's history,
Yeah.
and very little to say about the actual music that we're not gonna. I don't know. I just felt like there was nothing really
Yeah.
noteworthy where I was like, oh, this is a good take. So I didn't get anything down, but the critical reception was like very fucking positive. Most of them were like 8 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5, positive, like shit like that.
That's fucking
So
wild.
mhm.
So my number that I said that I would come up with throughout talking about this album, I did not come up with one.
You did not come up with one.
So I'm gonna give it a 2.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. I was being a little liberal. I wanted to give it a 1, but I'm not going. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Which is interesting because it's like, I don't know, because it's like, that's such a bad score, so it seems like something you want to fucking dunk on, but just the whole concept of it, and the whole backstory, just, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, it's just a hard album to give a score to.
Just say a number.
I'm struggling to think.
Just any number. You have 10 whole numbers.
8.5.
8.5. You heard it here. 2 to 8.5. That averages out to be, what, like a 5?
I guess we can say that. I think that's the most.
10 divided by 2, yeah, 5.
I think that's the biggest discrepancy so far on the podcast between us.
It is.
I don't know. I was really surprised. I was really thinking that you were gonna have a similar viewpoint, but I mean, I guess we hit both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, it made me feel crazy.
It made me feel crazy too, but I liked it. I don't know.
I'm on medication to stop me from feeling crazy.
I have a penchant for stuff that makes me feel crazy.
I do sometimes, like video games and movies, yeah. Music, I just want to vibe, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I feel that to a certain degree, but I really like. I mean, I feel like that's why I like math rock, because a lot of it makes me feel like I'm going fucking crazy.
I think my thing is when something makes me feel like I'm going crazy, I want it to be fun. I want it to be like Alien Rap. Alien Rap was fun.
See,
Did I lose my mind? Yes. Did I become Charlie Day with a fucking pinboard? Yes. But I had fun with it.
See, I'm the opposite for that. I would much rather listen to this again than Alien Rap.
I might listen to Alien Rap right now.
Right fucking now. We're just gonna have you're just gonna hold up Alien Rap to the microphone and we're just gonna post it. But I don't know. Alien Rap made me feel like I was going crazy even more so, even though. And that one was opposite. It had like a fucking dark. People thought it had a dark backstory, but it was just like, nah, this dude really liked aliens, and he just.
And this one is actually has a dark backstory. People are like, no, these are just some kids.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just does it for me.
You heard it here. Half of you will like the album, the other half will not.
Yeah.
This is really where we figure out if the fan base is more like me or more like you.
Yeah, I guess so. the Bob or the Sponge.
The Bob or the Sponge.
The Bob or the Sponge.
The Bob or the Minions today.
This is the Barbieheimer podcast.
The Barbieheimer official podcast.
Which side do you choose?
I am Knuff.
But I don't know. I guess the even more important than a number rating, because that's a very hard thing to assess, is does this deserve one last breath? And I say without a doubt it does. I think everybody should listen to this.
I'm going to begrudgingly say, listen to it once.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly.
I think you have to. I
think if you are a fan of music, you have to have this experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way I tell people to watch The Room. It's the same way
exactly.
I tell people to fucking like play the old Final Fantasy games. You're probably not gonna have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, it's gonna be not The Room. It's the same reason I tell people to watch fucking
Troll 2.
Not even Troll 2. Leprechaun in Space.
Oh god.
You're not gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh
with
god.
it. You're gonna have a little bit of fun. You're gonna have some parts where you're like, this is enjoyable. But as a fan of that medium, you kind of have to experience that weird point from a weird time period that you have no context of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Leprechaun in Space.
Leprechaun in Space.
It's
an important movie.
No, it's not.
It is. It's important.
If anything, I would say watch the entirety of the rest of the series, even the fucking original one, which was trying to be actually scary, and then the remake that's.
I think without Leprechaun in Space, you will not understand the Leprechaun remake with Hornswoggle.
Mm. I mean, I guess for completionist reasons, like if you're watching it, yeah. If you're watching the whole series, yeah.
You're gonna watch the whole series because it's good.
Yeah, but if you're only gonna list or watch one of the Leprechaun movies, I would go with
not Space. I would go with 3.
Two or 3. It's which one are they in Vegas?
3 is in Vegas.
Okay, yeah.
It has the best joke in all 4, which I will not spoil for you.
Yeah, 3 without a doubt is my favorite. 2 isn't far behind, and then the fucking In the Hood ones
they're a little problematic.
They are, but they're funny. I mean, fucking Ice-T was in it, so.
Well, either way, does it deserve one last breath? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, this isn't a Leprechaun podcast, so we'll get off that. I'd say without a doubt, like you said, everybody that is a music fan. I mean, even if you're not, you're a fucking weirdo if you don't like music.
You're listening to this podcast.
Yeah,
you like music.
Yeah, like fucking don't be an Austin fucking
Wiggin.
Yeah, not even be interested in music. But yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, fucking listen to this. I will say this is probably the most deserving of one last breath of anything so far. I have to say, just because it's such a weirdly important piece of music history and a fucking, I don't know, just like The Room. That's a weird moment for movie history. I feel like this is like that for music. Like everybody needs to experience it.
Yeah, we need a movie with who is in The Disaster Artist? That famous guy.
James Franco.
I almost said Philip DeFranco.
He's problematic now though. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. Get Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie on it.
Well, fucking
get all the cast of Barbenheimer.
There actually is a script apparently in the works for a movie about the Shaggs.
Okay, is it gonna be like a movie, or is it gonna be more like The Devil and Daniel Johnston?
I don't really know. I think a movie because I'll have to look it up.
We'll post details about it.
Yeah, but whenever the reissue from '99 or whenever the RCA Victor did, I guess there was like a news piece type thing. Like I don't really know. I guess it was more than an article that they were gonna base the movie on, and fucking Tom Cruise was involved with it.
Weird.
And then that never happened. And then as recent as 2018, it said that it was going to be a thing.
Okay, well I hope it comes out. I will watch it.
Yeah, I will fucking definitely watch it. Eileen Fisher is who's going to apparently be Dodd. Do you know her?
No.
You will know her when you see her face. But, well, fuck. Either way, that's
Either
besides
way.
the point.
Well, either way, we'll see you next week with something a little rowdier.
Oh god. Wait. We'll have to.
Something a little rowdier.
Okay, not as rowdy as I was thinking.
Not as rowdy. We're getting some really rowdy shit in a few weeks.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was time for that or not.
But we'll see you next week with something a little bit rowdier.
See ya.